You also want to do something called hooking your site up to Google Analytics. How many of you have Google Analytics on your site? All right. Free. It's free. Another thing that's free. You can set up an account, you put in a little snippet of code, have your web developer put it on your website. Now you can find out how many people are visiting the site, where they're coming from. Are they coming from Facebook? Are they coming from Google? Are they coming from Twitter? Where are they coming from? You can find out what location they're at. You can't find out the names, unfortunately. Wouldn't that be awesome? Hey, John Jones just visited my site. Here's his phone number. I'm going to give him a call. No, you can't do that, okay, unfortunately. But you can find out a lot of really great information, and you can run reports on it. You can just check it every day, like your bank account, and see what's happening. And the really cool thing is when you add that blog to your site and you start adding some articles, you can see like which one's the most popular, and then start tailoring some of your other stuff to what you've seen to be most popular. You can kind of keep tweaking it. Like I said, simple, but not always easy. So this stuff does take time, but this is how you're going to see success with using social media to promote your business. The other thing you want to do is set up a Google business page. Now, a lot of you probably have a Google local listing. I hope so. If you have, especially if you have like a storefront, but even if you don't have a storefront, you still can have a Google local listing. How many of you have that? Have you claimed your listing? All right. Search for your business on Google. If your business pops up, there's going to be like a little thing on there that says, is this your business? Claim your business. You can claim that listing for free. You can put in all your information, put in put in logos, pictures, things like that. Now you have a place on Google for your business. The other thing you want to do, which I'm going back to the slide here, is set up a Google business page. Google local and Google business pages are not exactly the same thing. Google doesn't always make things easy for us, unfortunately. A Google business page is like a Facebook business page. Very, very similar. You put in the same kind of information, you put in a logo, you can post to it just like you do on Facebook, all the same. The difference, of course, is one is Facebook and one is the king, Google. Does Google Plus have as many visitors and fans as Facebook? No, not even close. But it's a Google product. Guess who Google regards more heavily? Google, okay? So we would recommend we do this for all of our clients, that you get a Google business page. It's free. Set it up, get the information in there, and post to it as frequently as you would Facebook. If you already have a post written up, like maybe you're sharing an article on Facebook, or sharing a photo, or you're sharing something about your business, maybe it's a web page or whatever, in the time it takes you to do it on Facebook, share the exact same thing over on Google. Just do it together. Just get it done and over with, okay? Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. But it's good to have a presence. And I would say that, and I'm going to be dangerous when I say this, if you had to make a choice, like if you only have time for one thing, because you're not really going to do a lot with it, I would even maybe go to Google business page. I know there's a lot more fans, but here's the thing with Facebook. How many of you have noticed, how many of you do have a Facebook business page? Have you noticed that the number of views has gone down on your Facebook business page? Why? Because they want you to pay to promote it. They want you to pay to boost your post. They want you to pay to promote your page. And it could be a lot of money, a lot of money. So, but Google hasn't done that yet. So, if you're being throttled by Facebook, you might want to consider, going over to Google Plus. I don't know. I would say do both, but if you had to choose, just a thought. And then the other thing you can do with Google is you can ask your web developer to put in, there's like a little snippet of code that you can get from your Google Plus business page to put into your website. Again, very quick and easy thing to do. Ask your web developer about it. And that will help optimize your website just a little bit more. All right, so now that I've filled your brains with guilt about producing content, producing your own content, now we get into the real social media part of it. Let's say that you add that WordPress blog into your site, you start writing short little articles, you've got really good titles, you're answering a question, like how do I, file my 1099s? I don't know, all right? You write a little post about it. Now you have the opportunity to share your article on all the places where you have your social media accounts, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Google+, Twitter. Any of you on Twitter? A few of you, a handful, okay. LinkedIn, of course. Probably most of you are on LinkedIn, right? You can share your article on LinkedIn. You can share it all over anywhere you have an account. So, start with your blog, share it out. It's like the hub of your wheel, and it really can be very, very helpful if, again, you're consistent and you're continuous. We get calls and emails for our company from people who have done searches, because we have a body of maybe about 60 some articles at this point on our website. It's all good information to help businesses with, using social media or website development or whatever. And so we will get calls and emails from people because they read an article, because they did a Google search, and they either read an article from our site or they found one of our web pages from that search. Now, we're in a huge competitive space. You can throw a rock and find a social media expert. We know that. So we don't capture all the traffic, but if one of our articles has a phrase in it that matches what somebody's searching for, we're going to come up. And we see that over and over and over again. One of the cool things is we're very well optimized because we get a lot of inquiries for YouTube consulting. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of YouTube consultants out there. So we come up a lot of times if you search for that. We've gotten calls from California, we got a call from Jamaica, we got a call from the Philippines, not a call, an email from the Philippines, all over the place for that particular search. So we're just a little company, but we get found. We were found by a client in Denmark, who is our client now, based on one of the searches, and it was based on one of the articles that we had on our website. I write most of the articles. I'm not a great writer. I have a hard time writing. I want it to be perfect. But that's how, if we didn't have those articles on our site that we added every once in a while, we wouldn't get nearly the number of inquiries that we do. It just wouldn't happen. Because Google likes to see changing content on sites. That's the other thing. They want to see new content, they want to see changing content. If you have a website that's 5 years old and you haven't made a change to it at all, Google kind of goes, meh, not a very credible, relevant site. But if you were to start adding content to it, Google goes, oh, this is an active site, this is a credible, you raise up in your credibility because you keep adding content to it. Why is some site like Forbes.com so pop up in every search result on certain things? Because they're always adding content and there's a lot of traffic to it. That's the way it works. All right, now the other big part of it, and this is what a lot of people miss out on, and it's also something that we help a lot of clients with, is the audience part of it. Now, you can have, like I said, simple but not easy. You can have a ton of articles on your website, and that's all good. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not good, but you can double your impact or triple your impact and triple your, the number of people that see your content. In other words, you're pushing it out rather than waiting for them to come, is when you share it out on social media. And then hopefully other people will go, ooh, that looks good, and they'll share it to their network, and then that person will share it to their network, and it becomes this ever-widening thing. But you have to have an audience to start it with. So a lot of times we'll have somebody that comes to a company that'll come to us and they'll say, yeah, we tried that Twitter thing and it just doesn't work. Well, then you go to their Twitter account and they have 2 followers. Well, yeah. In other words, if you have 2 followers on your Twitter account, that means you have 2 people who are going to see your tweets. That's it, 2. And if they don't happen to be on Twitter, ever, or whatever, they're never going to see your tweets. So you have to start building audience, and that's a lot of times where we come in. Maybe our clients are really good at writing the content or doing little YouTube videos or iPhone videos or whatever, but they have a really hard time finding the time to spend getting their audiences built. Getting Facebook fans, getting Twitter followers, getting Google Plus fans or followers, circles, whatever, etc. Yeah. And so that's the other part of the equation that really, really, really matters. And I could spend and I know you don't want me to, I could spend a whole another 2 hours talking about this part of it. Or you can just call us and we'll tell you more about it. But that's the other side of the coin. You need content, but you also need people to actually read it. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but you can really, really make a much bigger, quicker impact if you have an audience. The other thing I want to mention, and I know Dorian will talk about this a little bit more. Hi, Dorian.
Hey.
You really, really, really want to claim as many listings as you can. So, like I mentioned, you want to claim your Google local listing. You want to claim that Google business page. You also want to come up with, claim a LinkedIn company page. Even if you don't do much with the LinkedIn company page, you can still build it. Put your products and services on there. Put a little blurb about your company. Put your logo up there. But you can connect it to your LinkedIn profile. So that when people come to your profile, they can actually click on the logo next to your experience in the LinkedIn, on the LinkedIn profile, and it'll take them to your company page so that you can find out more. They can find out more about your company. So it's something that you really want to consider doing as well. And then you've all heard of Yelp, love them or hate them. Most people hate them. Anybody hate Yelp? Has been your experience? Yeah. But take control of it in any case, because guess what? There's probably reviews, especially if you have like a storefront or you do a lot of business. You probably have reviews on Yelp already, so you might as well take control of the account and know what's going on and refute any bad reviews. At least put it out there. So, and then Yahoo, Bing, there's places you can claim your listing on there as well. So, to recap, you want to have content, if possible. You need to be consistent, and you need to do it continuously. Slow and steady wins the race. It really does. And you will find, you will find success, and you will get a wider audience for your business that way. And if you have any questions, feel free to connect with me. Talk about that in a second. Feel free to connect with me. You can, tweet at me. You can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn, or give me a call or email me. I'll be happy to answer questions. And one other quick thing I wanted to mention. If you have a good relationship with a web developer, ask them about mobile optimization for your website. That's, in other words, that's how your website shows up on tablets or phones. Some sites show up really nicely and some sites show up really badly, so you might want to talk about that. And then also something called structured data markup, and I'm not going to talk about it, but just ask them about it and see if they know what that means. So, any quick questions before I leave and go on to Dorian?
Yeah, quick question. I know you did touch on email marketing, and I wondered, being that time is precious, would it be more value to devote in writing blogs and sharing them, or devoting time to email marketing?
That's a great question. Now, of course, you can share your article through email, and a lot of people do that. And if you have a good email list, great. You know, that's a lot more people that will see your article. And if you add a WordPress blog, you can actually get a feature in there that will automatically email all the people your article, which is really cool. You don't have to worry about it. It'll just automatically email them if they, you know, if they're on your list. A lot of people have great success with emails, but a lot of people also get really frustrated because we're bombarded with emails. If you have the time to do that and this, do them both. If you have a lot of success with email marketing, I would say do it, but start incorporating a little bit of social media too. You know, because you don't want to let it's here to stay. So maybe combine a little bit of both. Yeah. But I'm not an email marketing expert. I mean, we just don't focus on it.
Radio.
But part of it was the title of this whole series is Google, so.
Since Yahoo and Mike Bing are pretty much the same, that's the next seminar.
Yeah,
There you go.
there you go.
Wait and see.
Yeah. Question?
Yeah, I'd say had success with, you can mix, and you should mix email marketing campaigns, I'll call impact messaging, and the way it worked, think of that, get right to the point, congruent, no blab, stupid, very concise, look at people with the content, share it with your social media, have associative cross-references so you can drive traffic, near your point there with some other stuff. Don't go away from it, look at opt-in lists, build your own organic lists, and just, you know, put that on your website so it keeps going. It circulates through your social media as well as your email marketing campaigns. That's what I'm
Okay, thank you.
Doable.
Good.
All right, well, thank you very much. Oh, one more question. Yeah.
You know, I'm very new to this game, actually, and I'm thinking about something you said earlier about credibility, and from a commercial standpoint, this vast ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, does it boil down to volume, relevant? You know, as a new upstart, and you think about trying to get space
Yeah.
and be noticed.
Right. Yeah, if you're trying to, you know, you bring up a good point. If you're a brand new company and you have a brand new website and everything, you are jockeying for space among all the others. So, all I'm going to say again is just to be continuous and consistent with the content. Eventually, you build up a body of content that people will find when they do searches, but it does take
So
time.
it is a volume.
It is a lot of a volume thing. But it's also, you know, depending on the business, it might also be a location thing. You know, if you're on Google, Google knows your location. If you're searching for a specific type of service, they're going to serve up companies or websites that are probably more in your area, depending. So a lot of it is volume. But it's also about, you know, the size of your network in terms of, you know, your social media network, how many people or eyes are being able to see what you have when you share it out. It all works together. Yeah, it's not easy. Like I said, it takes a lot of time. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.